What's good, y'all? Welcome to the Z Podcast. When I say P, I mean profit. When I say S, I mean Sia. You dig it what I'm saying, baby? Now let's keep it moving. Follow the feng shui. You dig it? Bienvenue in Podcast Z, man. Welcome to the Z Podcast. And what I want to talk about with y'all today is, do you know yourself? Do you know who you are? Do you talk to yourself? Do you ask yourself questions? Do you sit with yourself? A lot of us don't sit with our thoughts, words, opinions. We just be not mindful. And in the Bible, it talks about the tongue being a sword and how you speak literally opens up ripples effects. It opens up all kind of portals and all kind of stuff, right? So you got to be mindful because the tongue speaks the life of the power and death. So are you using your tongue, your wand, for good, or are you using it for bad? And how do you know that if you're not checking in with yourself and observing yourself from a higher perspective? You have to self reflect. God always teaches us to be still so we can self reflect, so we could be humble. Because if we kept moving and moving and moving and moving and never decided to take a pause or a break, then who are we doing it for? Who are we? Why do we do the things we do? Why do you do the things you do? Why do you look at this book a certain way? Why do you scratch your ass a certain way? Why do you do certain things a certain way? You have to sit with yourself for real and wonder to yourself, like, do I know who I am? A lot of people don't know themselves. One thing, and I'm not saying I am a medical doctor or anything. This is none of that. I do not partake in that. But what I will say is, people proclaim that you'll go to the doctors, right, or the hospital, and you expect them to figure out your problem internally, and it never really made sense to me, right? You, they're not living in your body. Now they've been trained to deal with certain things, right, and do certain things and operations, correct, right? But some of these operations might have not even been on real actual people. It might have just been all book and learning and studying, not any physical action. But what I'm saying is, you go to someplace, a doctor or a hospital, and you expect them to figure out the problem internally. And you're the one who's living in your body every day. You're the one who has to go to sleep every day and sleep on the bed every day. You're the one who has to live in your vessel. So how can you get up and go somewhere and expect somebody else to figure out what's going on inside of your vessel? And you're the one who's living in it. That's what I mean about not knowing yourself. Because if you don't know yourself, you're expecting someone to take care of you. They are trained and definitely well experienced in what they're there to do. That's what the experience is for, to train them up, to root them up to what they need to do to operate on the operation, right? You know. But we are constantly generating, operating, and destroying. God is generator, operator, destroyer. We are constantly doing those three. If you're not throwing away trash, which is destroying, you're throwing away trash, getting rid of food. People throw away, the restaurants throw away so much food all the time when it's not eaten or something. That's destruction. That's throwing away trash. You know, um, operation is like maintaining. If you're not maintaining your vessel and your body, then you're not living in it. Somebody else's or another entity or thing is, because we have to literally make sure we're generating, operating, and destroying. And when we get stagnant, when we start feeling depressed or pulled down, we notice that we don't feel ourselves. We lose ourselves. We lose who we are. We lose our identity. We lose sense of character and direction, and it doesn't look good for nobody when that happens. So if you are not looking to go through an identity crisis, then your best bet is to sit and ask yourself, "Who am I?" as much as you can, because when shit hit the fan and the devil come knocking on your door and you get tested with temptation or something, what really happens? So with that being said, y'all have a good one.